Alrighty, YouTubers, thank you all for who joined me in the Prime 1 Next Level Showcase yesterday. Today, I want to talk about my hits and misses of the show, what I thought in general. So there was definitely a few pieces that really stood out to me that I thought were amazing. If you saw the show, you saw my reactions, of course. But let's go ahead and go through it. And I'm just going to use statue form, frankly, to go ahead and talk about this. So first thing they did is they did video game statues, which of course I'm happy with because I love my Prime 1 video game statues. And I'm a huge, huge fan. They announced the license of Horizon 2, God of War Ragnarok, which is awesome. They did not show Elden Ring statue. They did show Demon Souls, but it's not 1/4. It was cool, but I would say overall I guess it's a hit for a Demon Souls statue. And we do have pictures I'm going to show you of that one. Alright, so here it is, the Demon Souls one. So I like the overall idea of it. It's really cool. It looks pretty big. It's not super tall, but I mean, that giant is kind of hunched over. You know, and he's supposed to be like I forget how big, like a 50-foot giant that you're fighting against or something like that. So they did a scale down, like this is more or less like a 1/20th scale statue, you know, because that's the main character and he looks like he's, you know, 1/10 scale. So yeah, I mean, overall it's very cool. Not something I'm going to be buying. But overall, I think they did a really good job. Now, here's something I have been highly, waiting for from Prime 1 is Last of Us. Now, I'm not 100% sure if they're doing both Last of Us 1 and Last of Us 2, but they did show Last of Us 2, Abby and Ellie, if this will frickin' load. Alrighty, freaking slow statue form. Here is the Ellie statue. Now, to be honest, I am disappointed in this. I feel like the likeness on Ellie is off. Concept is decent. You know, they basically did like a back-to-back cat and mouse, which is like the final fight in the game. You're constantly doing this. So I understand, it's the final fight. They replicated it pretty good, which is cool. However, it's going to make displaying this very difficult. It's really hard to have a statue like this. It really has to be something like on a table. It can't be displayed against a wall. Otherwise, all you're going to see is Ellie's ass and Abby's side. So, yeah, it's not like her ass is nice or anything. She's just a little kid. So it's going to be difficult to display this. Like, the best way to display it, like if you're going to display it on like a wall, like right there, is having Ellie like this and then just Abby right next to her. Not like this. So, you could buy just Ellie. I mean, not a lot of people loved Abby just because, spoiler alert, she killed Joel. And everybody loves Joel. He's the main character of the first game. So, yeah. I would say I'm disappointed, though. I actually like and prefer the likeness on my 1/4 scale Ellie. In addition, I like the fact mine has a clicker on the base. This is a zombie video game, yet there's no zombies here. So, yeah, and I think the Ellie likeness is off. When I saw it, I'm like, wait, is that Ellie? It looked off to me. So definitely disappointed in The Last of Us 2, and it's definitely something I'm not even going to consider buying. I'm going to keep my Last of Us 2 custom, which scales very good with my Prime 1. It looks great, and I like it quite a bit. So that was definitely a miss for me. Now, we have this new Jurassic Park double T-Rex. And for me, this is a big hit. I am a huge fan of this piece. So you can see it here next to this dude. Check how big that is. That looks a solid, maybe 30 inches wide and deep. And then height, probably 30 inches as well due to those trees. Now, I love the trees on this. I think it adds a lot. If they didn't have those trees, I don't think this would be as cool. I think the trees really add that element of like jungle, and I really like that. The underbase, it's not the same as the other underbases, but I noticed they only do that when it's a rectangle base. This being circular, I still think I would have preferred one black bar right there. Like, they have a black bar there, but not right there. I would have liked one, in all honesty. But overall, I do like the whole look of the base. You know, it's very detailed. You get this extra little baby T-Rex, which is really cool. And this is the green, which I believe is the male. And then the female is the typical brown one. But this is very impressive. I think this is incredibly well done. One of their most impressive 1/15th scales they've honestly done. I would say this is better than all of my current ones and all the ones released. This is the best 1/15th scale overall statue they've done for the Jurassic line. So extremely cool. Not something I'm going to buy. It doesn't fit in my display. You know, I couldn't fit this anywhere. And yeah, I'm good on the T-Rex end. I already got Rotunda and my Iron Studios. But overall, big hit for the event. I think they did a really good job on that. So I'm not going to look at any of the Batman stuff just because my opinion honestly isn't valid because I don't collect that. I don't have a lot of knowledge on that. So it's not something, frankly, that I should even be talking about. But this is a huge hit for me. Prime 1 Gandalf. You guys know I've been waiting for this. And it is very impressive. So the likeness, absolutely spot on. Love it. Fully sculpted, no mixed media. Holding the staff out forward with a light up. It's massive. Tons of presence. As you can see, big piece. And they also got Boromir. This thing looks at least 30 inches tall. Like, massive. Because they have basically a 1/4 Balrog head, you know, that Gandalf has just shined him. It's more or less like Balrog is falling. Like, he just fell on the bridge. And that's why it looks like that, which, you know, it's very cool. You know, it has a bunch of clouds because of the fire and smoke. And then there's not pics here on statue forum, but it does have a mini Gandalf versus Balrog, like my Prime 1 statue, a mini version, like a miniature, in the back of the statue, which is extremely cool. Granted, it's in the back, so you're not going to really see it. But the fact it's there, like this is something I would put actually on a, you know, because this doesn't have an underbase as well. Every other statue is an underbase. So I would just put this on a Lazy Susan, which will act as an underbase and allow me to rotate it to see that mini Gandalf versus Balrog. Now, I don't know if this is 100% going to fit under my garage shelf. I have approximately 32.5 inches I can fit a statue. So I'm just praying this is only like 30 inches. Because in addition, his head is more or less towards the top part. You know, like the staff is the highest part, or the sword. So it might be a top level statue. I really hope it isn't. Honestly, I think this will go great next to my Balrog versus Gandalf. Like I moved Fell Beast and Cave Troll over to the Godzilla vs. Kong setup, you know, because I'm likely not going to be buying Kong Bust or Mecha Godzilla. And instead, I'd move those two over there, which does fit the whole monster theme, and then do him next to Balrog versus Gandalf. I'm also thinking I probably won't sell my Sideshow, at least not yet, until we get a Saruman from Prime 1. And I determine that, you know, my current Gandalf is freaking, he's wearing his hat. This one, he does have a hat option, but I'd kind of prefer to keep both, because Sideshow won't sell for anything anyways. I can sell it for like $200. It's not even worth it. So if anything, I'd just keep both. But I think this is a huge hit. Now, Boromir, I think overall is a hit as well. I think they did a good job. The likeness, not as solid as Gandalf. It's like an 85% likeness. It's also short, but it's a good thing it's short because Lurtz is a short statue, so they will pair exceptionally well together. I am slightly worried Gandalf seems kind of short. Gandalf was very tall. Like, he was like a 7-foot tall dude, and his body size looks the same as Boromir, who's hunched over and not as tall as him. So I would say that's one thing Prime 1 needs to make sure is that they properly have scaled Gandalf, because he was huge. Alrighty, now the biggest hit for me is this. Something we were not expecting. Well, I mean, I wasn't expecting this, but Berserker Predator 1/3. And the timing couldn't be worse. I mean, I literally just bought that Berserker Predator, which is 1/4, and I've wanted a 1/3. And then Prime 1 comes out and delivers this incredible looking statue. Like, holy Jupiter's cock. Wow. When you see these, you know, especially when they do that background, it looks like it's from the freaking movie. You know, like, now it looks like he's holding the spinal cord right here. So he has a swap out holding the spinal cord, or he has one with his hand up, and I really like that pose as well. You know, like, that looks like it's from the movie. I show you a movie still, and it looks the exact same. So, extremely impressive. Now, they also allow you to hang that bloody skull trophy right there. In addition, look how cool that base is. So you got the Predator's logo, which is great. Then you got a Predator skull, what looks like an ape skull, a human, another ape, some bunch of bones, trees, the severed head. I love that base, all those skulls, because that represents the Predator camp perfectly. I just recently watched this movie, so this base perfectly resembles the Predator camp. So I really like that. It is also massive, as you can see. And that unmasked portrait, ooh, oh my goodness, that looks good. And the mask also looks incredible too. I love his mask. You know, I think it's incredible. I'm curious if they allow that mask to be displayed also on the base, like the other ones. I'm sure they will. But I just feel like the unmasked is the way to go with this guy. I mean, that unmasked portrait is just so good. It's just a shame to cover it, honestly. So this one was the biggest hit for me, honestly, of the event. I know a lot of people probably won't agree with me. Others may. Some people don't like the Berserker Predator. I know there's been a few people on my channel who have really voiced their opinion on the matter. But for me personally, I love the Berserker Predator. I thought he was super badass in the movie. He's very cool design. He's much different, you know, like, I freaking love him. And I love that movie. I love Adrian Brody. I think he's a great actor. So this was the biggest hit for me personally. I freaking loved that statue. So then we also got this new Keaton statue, which they kind of ended on. I know a lot of people have been like waiting for it. Oh gosh, this thing's been open since 2015. What the fuck? Why is that? Alrighty. Yeah, so many people. 21 pages. Goodness. Alrighty, here you go. So what they did is they did similar to what J&D did, where it's like a Bruce Wayne and a Batman. And you can see the size. I mean, this thing is 8 inches. And so this looks at least 30 inches. And then they also have the Batman. So they have them both. And I think the likeness is fantastic. Pose is kind of boring in all honesty. It's just museum pose. That portrait looks fantastic to Michael Keaton. You know, like, that looks really, really freaking good. They definitely did a great job, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be very happy with this. As you see, I mean, this thing's been alive since freaking forever. But, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people will be very happy with that. You know, they did a lot of anime stuff that, frankly, I just did not care for that. I'm just like, oh my goodness. But overall, for me, I mean, the two biggest is that Gandalf and Berserker Predator. Those are freaking amazing. So, yeah, love it. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are going to ask, man, you probably should have bought Infinity. Now, Infinity is so much different. It's a diorama first. Secondly, you know, I freaking love that statue. Even if it's only 1/4. It is so freaking cool looking. Conceptually, it is so good. Chopping off the head of another statue of a predator, that is so cool. But, you know, what I'm thinking, I definitely want to get that Berserker 1/3. I mean, the most logical thing to do is move or get rid of Cinema Cat Predator, you know, and keep Berserker right there, the 1/4, and do the 1/3 directly above with the Berserker life-size mask. Have the Prime 1 there, the Jungle Hunter, and then ideally his mask right above him, if I could get that to work. So I have the 3 main Predators in 1/3 with their 3 life-size masks. I mean, that would be the ideal, because I only need my three favorite in 1/3. I already have Wolf, although I'm sure Prime 1's going to make Wolf. They did announce they're doing AVP, which means that they're going to do Scar. And of course, after Scar, they're going to do Wolf. It's inevitable. And after Wolf, they'll probably even do the Prey Predator and possibly even Fugitive in 1/3. You know, so it seems like they're kind of going all in on the Predators, which is fantastic. But I'm also, strapped on space, and Predator statues are not cheap. They're also some of the coolest statues ever. So I'm definitely going to get that Berserker. I will figure it out, but it's definitely on my list. It doesn't mean I'm selling that. That thing is a diorama. It's, different on its own. Two completely different statues, just of the same character. But I still absolutely love that, but I do plan to get the 1/3 as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. What are some of your hits and misses? I didn't go over all the statues, obviously, because a lot of them I don't have an opinion on. Some of the Batman stuff look cool, but my opinion isn't valid on that, honestly. So I would not ask me. Ask me on the movie stuff and anime like DBZ. But yeah, overall, that Berserker Predator is my favorite of the show. Second would be Gandalf. Anyways, that is it. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.